Hey guys, Mr. C here. I'm using a new microphone, no longer using the built-in mic on my computer. So hopefully, as I move my hands around, it's not going to make any crazy noises. Um, just one thing I want to point out for today, we didn't really do a whole lot. We just demonstrated that there's already capabilities built in, and that is the capability to add additional content records into the content table. But one cleanup thing we did in our code is to delete the about.php and the contact.php. Both of those files were deleted. Um, don't delete the content file. Make sure you delete only the contact file, contact and about. The reason we no longer need these files is that all of our content is going to be pulled from the database table. So as before, we had these two additional files that were called up when we clicked on our navigation, but that's no longer the case. What's happening now is when we click on our navigation, it is actually pushing out a short link text, and the connect, sorry, not the connect, the content file is looking at that. It's being provided by index.php. The index.php file looks at the URL, pulls this segment out of the URI, and is like, okay, well, they're asking for home, so let's send, home along with to page ID. That, and then when content is loaded up, it grabs the records that whose link matches that whatever is sent along. So in this case, it would be, what did I say? Home. Ugh, excuse me. So every record that has home as its link will be included in that select. And then this is going to grab all of those rows and echo them out one at a time. So we can end up having multiple rows of content. So let's go over how we did that today. First up, again, make sure that you delete the about PHP and the contact.php, and I'm going to go ahead and commit those now. Oh, I do not need to launch Slack. Why is that happening? Quit. Okay, so git add, and I'll just do period, which will get add both of those things, or both of those changes, and then git commit with a message. The message is removed about.php and contact.php. Boop. Cool. And then git push origin, and then for me it's week 12. Awesome. Now my GitHub is up to date with those two files that were moved. Also, you notice that I have put my SQL statements into this folder here. And so this will be updated as well in a moment here. I'm going to make a change to the database or to the content table, and that will be part of the new week 13 SQL. So if you are watching this right now and you need to get caught up really quickly, you can run that week 13 SQL from GitHub. Basically, you just copy all the SQL statements, all of them from beginning to end, that whole file, and then paste them into an SQL window here. Just erase that and then paste them in there and then click go. Okay, cool. So moving forward now, we're going to go into our phpMyAdmin, and we're going to look at the content table. And we have 3 records right here, and they have these link, I'm going to call them IDs now. They have these IDs 1, 2, and 3, but those are not reliable for accessing. They're not relatable, I should say. Whereas link is home, contact, about. I know what that is. That tells me what kind of content is inside of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new row here for the about page. So if we notice right now, let's go to the about page, and it only has one row with 4 columns. So we're gonna change that by just adding a new record. So I'm going to insert, and the content, I'm going to click this and pull it up so we have more space here. And I have to manually do my divs now because I'm not in CodePen or Cloud9. So this is going to be a row. And then I need to make sure and close that div off. And I don't have the tab key to be able to indent, so I have to hit my space 3 times. And so I'm going to make a div here that's a class column, and it's small 12. I'm sorry. We're going to do small 6. So we're going to do 2 columns here. All right, 1, 2, 3, and I'll close this div off. And I'm going to make 2 of these because they have to add up to 12. Oops, tab does not work. 1, 2, 3. And inside of that, I'm going to put a paragraph tag with a bunch of garbage. Close that paragraph tag off. And then inside this column, I'm going to do another paragraph tag. Again, this is our poor man's lorem ipsum. And close that paragraph off. And that should be it for the content section. Now we do need to identify it with a page, so we're going to identify it with the About page. And I'm going to click Go on that. And then when I browse the table, I now have 4 rows. Now ID 1, 2, 3, and 7. The reason it jumps to 7 is that 4, 5, and 6 I've entered and deleted a couple times. And so because you can't reuse IDs, not automatically anyway, it's forcing it to jump to 7 because it's kept track of what IDs were used in the past. That's totally acceptable and expected. So here we have home, contact, and then we have 2 pieces that are for the About page. And really we don't have to change anything in our code. If we load this page up here, we go to About again, you'll see that we now have a second row down here with 2 columns. Pretty legit. Now what we're going to do in our next video is we're going to show how to give these things in order, and we're actually going to do a content that is just 1 column that has a heading for this page, and we'll be able to put all kinds of content all over the place. Okay, thanks guys.